Cheers, let us, mate. Appreciate it. So, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my first stream in a while, doing comms for RPR. And yes, let's hope so. It's a good race tonight. So, this is RPR Season 10, Round 1, and tonight we are at COTA. Oh! Damn it, really didn't want to know that, but that is fine. That's fine, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it will still be a good race with a bit of wet rain. So we'll have to see. And Cameron's looking forward to making his debut tomorrow, so we do have Leicester and Keanu out at the moment for their in-laps as we go round. We do also have Scotty out as well. So, let me introduce myself. My name is RL Cairo, and I have been given the opportunity to do comms for RPR this evening, and, well, been given the opportunity to do it for this season. So let's hope we have, which we should do, always have a good race in RPR, no doubt about that. So we do, like I say, we do have a few drivers out. It is short qualifying with a 50% race. So it's going to be a very, very interesting first race of the season. And hopefully everything and everyone will give us a good race, as usual, as always in RPR and other leagues as well. But we'll have to wait and find out, see what happens, and we'll see where we go from there. So Leicester's going to be the first one to go over the finish line, or the start and finish straight, shall I say, to get us underway. And Keanu also, it'll be Leicester, then it will be Scotty as well. So we'll stay off board with Leicester for the time being to see what sort of lap he'll put in for the rest of the drivers, and hopefully I don't think so, roughly nearly everybody's out, so I hope this will be a good race for the first start of the season. We'll have to see how things go at the moment. So let's just have a quick look. So everybody's sort of out. We are waiting for DXT James as well to come out. Alfa Romeo there does get out the way for Leicester to come through. Now this track is not too difficult. There is obviously some corners on this track, as Leicester puts in a 134.1 for the first lap for the drivers to have an attempt at doing, and we've got Scotty with the 133.8. So great lap there by Scotty. Mr. Keanu does invalidate there, but will go again. So I think he's just giving a little bit of a gap to his teammate, who will be the next one to come over the line. I think it will be Stewie. Will come over the line next to drop in a fastest lap as Kenny with a 132.8. Stewie goes with a 133.2. So great lap there from Stewie, great lap there from Kenny as well. GGC starts their lap as well. Keanu's also on his lap as well. Jonah, I think it's Geron. Sorry if I get some of your names or pronounce your names wrong. I'm sure I'll get used to hopefully get the names right. As Geron on a set of medium tyres does a 133.9, so the only driver to be on a set of medium tyres at the moment. We've got Percy that's just coming around the last few couple of corners now, and we'll see what Percy can do. Comes around the last corner, slides it just a little bit, pops up into P2 with a 133.0. Who's just popped up there? So it wasn't Scotty. Was it Keanu? I think Keanu's just popped up into P3. So Keanu with a 133.1. GGC with a 135.4. So we've just got JR Lattice and DXT James to watch out for them. See what they can do. JR Lattice is coming through. I'd probably say one of the corners that is also pretty decent for overtakes to go into. On that we've got the long sweeping right, I think it's left or right hander. Lattice opts to jump into the pits, so we'll have to see what if he does come out. There's still plenty of time for the drivers to come out and get another extra run in. Obviously it's going to be, now I do suspect that obviously it's going to be quite fun to see what setups the drivers have decided to use. It's going to be a wet race. I don't know how long the wet race is going to be for, but we will soon probably see if it's going to be a full wet race or if there's going to be a mixture of weather, if it's going to dry up, but time will tell. So DXT James puts in a 134.2. I think Leicester's on another lap, so he's going to try and go that little bit quicker. Now so Giron has put a set of medium tyres on. Leicester's up by 6 thousandths, so he's up on his sector time in sector 1. Yellow flags in sector 1 where the S's, but that will not hamper Leicester at all. So we'll stay off board with Leicester to see what there is. Now I know this there's quite a lot. It's quite a lot of drive. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens and see how the race goes. As Leicester now comes around the final corner. Oh, a little bit of a slide, a snap of oversteer there, I think. Leicester lost a little bit of time there coming out of that last corner. So not sure if if Leicester will be going again. Giron on a set of soft tyres now after doing a little bit of a medium run on the first lap, on his first in lap. So everyone's sort of kind of coming back out. DXT James still in the pits, GGC in the pits as well. I wonder if any of those two will come out. Wonder if Scotty will come back out as well. So Keanu starts his fresh new lap, so does Daniel Percy, so we'll have to see what those two drivers can do. There's 6.5 minutes left to go in this short qualifying session, so we'll keep an eye on the times to see if anybody just jump up for the remainder of this session. Nice exit there from Jaron, goes into P1 with a 132.7. So it looks pretty close at the moment. Top 5 is within 4 tenths of each other, so we'll have to see if there's going to be anybody to improve. Keanu has invalidated that lap, so he will go again. Kenny with a 132.5, so improves on his time a little bit. Keanu goes into the pits. What can Daniel Percy do? As Daniel Percy comes through, last couple of corners, opts to jump into the pits. Stewie has invalidated his lap there. So then let's go to JR Lattice. So he comes round, last corner, Jaron struggled there, and Lattice goes P2 with a 132.7. So Alfa Romeo at the moment P2 and P3. So there's roughly 4 minutes 20 seconds to go. Is there going to be anybody else that's going to come out? And Keanu's on his way back out as well. Leicester's back out again. I think Kenny will be going into the pits. Which Kenny does go into the pits. So Leicester on an outlap then. Is there anybody else coming out? So Percy's back out again. Jaron does manage to get back into the lobby as well. So let's go with Leicester again then. Let's see what Leicester can do this time around. Who else is out on track? So we've got GCC on an outlap. Both Red Bulls are out on track as well. So I think it will be Keanu will be just getting ready to go over that start and finish straight. We've got a yellow flag. Well, now green flag. Hopefully there's not going to be too much of a hampering for Leicester. Gets the car turned in nice with this. So quite a few more drivers are coming out again. Both the Alfa Romeos are coming out. Scotty's back out again. Kenny's back out again. So Keanu has all the track to himself. Leicester opts to come into the pits then. So let's have a look at Keanu then. So Keanu does have the whole track in front of him to himself. Yellow flag up into turn 1 and turn 2. Not going to hamper anybody. Purple sector 2 for Keanu Greaves then. So everybody's following each other around, as we can see on the map. Keanu up to P3, splits both the Alfa Romeos up. And Scotty starting his lap now. GCC also starting their lap. So DXT James also starting as well. So Jerong also starting as well. So who do we go? Scotty going into the hairpin now. That is your shot qualifying over. So we'll see, we'll just have to see. And oh, J-Ron got a little bit squirrely there coming through the S's there, manages to catch it, so J-Ron does keep going. But we will keep an eye out for what's happening currently at the moment. So Scotty coming through the fast right-hander. Oh, Scotty invalidates just slightly over the curb there. So who's then Stewie? Who we got a Stewie? As Lattice goes fastest with a 132.3. J-Ron has lost connection to the lobby again, but hopefully we can get him back in. So that is your short qualifying session over. So a lot of fast times there then by all 10 drivers that we have. So let's get down to the main event then for the start of the race. So Lattice P1 with a 132.3, then Kenny in P2, Keanu P3, Giron in P4, Percy in P5, Stewie P6, Dexty James P7, Scotty P8, Leicester P9, and JCC in P10. So let's have a look at this then. I was told that it is raining in the race, but when will the rain come? Is it going to be at the start of the race, or are we going to get it halfway through the race? We don't know. Oh, and wow, it is actually raining. So I tell you what, like I said in qualifying, I would love to know what sort of setups the drivers were running, just to see sort of like how they're going to mix it up and see what obviously they can do, but we'll soon find out. So we've got the formation lap underway. Let's put that up, get that out of the way and that out of the way. So formation lap, obviously we'll see how things go. So it is actually full wet tyres, or has anybody, so nobody's decided to opt for any for intermediate tyres, so we'll see how it goes. I'll see if the weather does actually clear up and see if it's actually going to be a full wet race. So at the moment it will be at the moment nice clean formation lap. By the drivers, but like I say, it's gonna be excuse me, it's gonna be nice to see what kind of setups the drivers are running, see if they've changed anything as well, to make sure that they stay on the track and see if there's any change in setup pace wise from the drivers. So pretty much a brilliant or fantastic formation lap from the drivers. We're just waiting now for the drivers to line up so we can start the race. Hopefully I can get it gives me a better view for the start of the race. So we've got 4, 5 red lights, and lights are out. We are underway, and we have a drive-through penalty for both Lattice and Keanu. So little bit of a jump start there. Then lights did kind of go out sort of a little bit too late for me. Like I said, I didn't get to see anything, but we've got a little bit of a mixture of battle going in at the start, as we see Stewie defending from Percy, going through the S's. So there's not much of, as Leicester's looking to make a move on Percy. Leicester gets the move done there on Percy. Then Scotty as well. Is Scotty going to make the move? Scotty makes the move on Percy as well. So Percy down to losing 4 positions at the moment. We've got a yellow flag. We got a first safety car. A little bit of contact there then between Percy and GGC. Now, Leicester and Keanu will not be allowed to take their drive-through penalty pit stop. Well, their drive-through penalty while under safety car conditions. So there's going to have to be, those 2 drivers will have to, at the end of the at the end of the safety car, when we do get the end of the safety car, both those drivers will have to take their drive-through penalty. Obviously GCC and Daniel Percy did get into a little bit of contact in the hairpin, so those 2 drivers will get to catch up the safety car, as they both do come out of the pits. So first safety car of the first season, of the first round, in pretty difficult conditions, but we've also managed to have a pretty certain safe start. By all the drivers. So at the moment, pretty decent, pretty good race start for the drivers, and obviously myself as your commentator. But we'll soon see. I don't think the safety car should be out for too long, so we can get this race back underway. So I think we might end up going for another lap with the safety car, just for the drivers, and obviously if there's still debris on the track. So it'll be another lap round the circuit of COTA. Let's just drop that off. So let's figure out now. I hope it does dry up, which it will be also a good race if it does dry up, but we don't know. This rain could be in for the long haul. It could be all the way till the end. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So safety car should come in this lap. Obviously Lattice and Keanu do have that drive-through penalty that they need to take. So it is going to be it will be up to them to make the decision. I reckon they'll probably go and do the drive-through after they've gone round, after the safety car goes in. Just so they can get the race going and race underway. So safety car now is in this lap, so Lattice is effectively now the safety car for the drivers. And we will wait and see. So let's jump on board with Keanu just to see when Lattice will decide to go. But like I said, I think for so Keanu's decided to jump in the pits now to get rid of that drive-through penalty. So Keanu will tumble down to the back of the pike. Race gets underway. Lattice gets a good pull away. Sharon and Stewie kind of switching places at the start there. Sharon manages to keep that position. DXT James on the rear of Stewie. But Stewie also manages to keep that position there. Stewie still managing to stay with. We've got Scotty. Oh, Scotty and Percy. A little bit of contact there between both drivers, but not much. Percy goes down the inside of Scotty there, gets the move done on Scotty. Scotty has a little bit of a slide tempo there, but does manage to get back onto the power. DXT James again, still there with Stewie. Now, will Lattice make the pit stop for his drive-through penalty? We will soon see. If that does happen, then Kenny will get the lead of the race. Stewie, at the moment, has some impressive pace in that Ferrari. When in these wet conditions, Kenny sets the fastest lap of the race. Lattice does go into the pits, gets his drive-through penalty out of the way, so that will put Lattice in P9. Keanu just coming into the pits. So is Keanu coming for his drive-through already? So by the looks of that, Keanu's had to come in and I think Keanu's either coming to do done a pit stop and put on a set of fresh tyres. So we've got Percy, DXC James, and Giron mixing it up. Scotty and Leicester mix up. Scotty putting the power down there and getting a little bit sideways. We've still got Scotty and Leicester battling out. We've also got James and Percy going at it as well. So I missed the overtake there between Percy and James. Now it's excuse me, Leicester's looking to go around the outside of Scotty, but Scotty doesn't, and we've got a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car, GGC, going around the right-hander. Why am I saying the left-hander? It's a right-hand corner. So we've got VSC at the moment as GCC loses his wing. Scotty and Leicester are in the pits. So James, Percy still close-ish together under this VSC. So that does sort of bring the tempo down a bit in this race. Kenny has roughly built himself up a gap of about 5 seconds. So there's not much going off now. Still under virtual safety car, yes, so we're still under VSC. And we'll see what happens. Oh, drive-through penalty for Kenny. Speeding under virtual safety car. So Kenny now has a drive-through penalty. A little bit unfortunate there for Kenny. Obviously, penalty systems can be a little bit harsh for that, but like I say, Kenny does have 3 laps to take that. Giron picks up a 3-second time penalty. There's actually a few drivers with a 3-second time penalty as well, actually. I think let's just have a look. So penalty for GGC, a 3-second for Leicester, a 3-second for Giron, and a drive through for Kenny. So at the moment, gaps are sort of showing. Gaps are a little bit showing up, but there's still drivers bundled together, as we can see. GCC's retired in the pits. Really tough conditions to race around this track, especially in the wet. I think what you've got to do is sort of try and figure out what sort of setup or how you're going to adjust your setup. James has caught up with Daniel, with Percy. Giron also not too far behind. So that yellow flag is just for GGC's car as it's come out of the pits. So that has been cleared quickly. So I think what Kenny's trying to do here is he's trying to maybe build a little bit of a gap. So when he goes in this lap to take his drive-through penalty, he doesn't come out. And a 10-second time penalty. Leicester's retired, so 10-second time penalty for Leicester there, and a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that's unfortunate for Leicester there. Gaps again have built up. So Keanu does get that move done, but we are building up, I think, to maybe a few drivers may pick up the gap again. James has closed that gap to Percy, so we'll see if a little snap of oversteer there for James. Gap does go back up there a little bit on James for Percy. So Kenny now in the pits then to serve his drive-through penalty. I believe he should come out behind Jaron and James and Percy. So we now have a new race leader, which is Stewie. So currently at the moment only one driver with a penalty. So Stewie now in the lead, Percy up to P2. DXT James, another 3-second time penalty there for Jaron. So James up into third, Jaron in fourth, Kenny in fifth. So this could be anybody's race, the way that I see it. Scotty with a 3-second time penalty as well. DXT James sort of going on the opposite side of the track, maybe to keep his tyres at the right, just to keep his tyres to where he needs them. There's not really much of a dry line opening up at the moment, but the gap is slowly coming down between Stewie and Percy. So could we potentially see a battle going on between Percy and Stewie? Jaron's also got the gap closed down to DXT James as well. So that gap's kind of closed down for P3 as well. So it could be anybody's race at the moment. We've got 18 laps to go, and like I said, anything could happen. Anything can happen in this race. Percy again is closing in on Stewie, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. Jaron also closing in on DXT James now. Has James has done the same thing again. He's gone to the left side of the track. So So maybe, obviously, like I say, could be staying in the wet to keep his tyres at that optimal temperature. Jump back on board with Percy. Percy has, oh, little snap of oversteer there for Percy. Trying to keep the Red Bull under control. So he can get, maybe attempt to get an overtake done on Stewie. But it looks like Stewie got a brilliant exit out of the last corner. 10-second time penalty for James for exceeding track limits. So, where did that come from? As lovely aerial shot of the top of the three drivers of James, Giron and Kenny. Another great aerial shot of the leading two as well, so that gap's kind of closed down again. So we have a battle for James, another 3-second time penalty for James. Is Giron there got a little bit of maybe oversteer there, nearly collides into the wall. Kenny gets up into P3. James back into the slipstream of Kenny. James makes the move into the corner, but who's got the corner? Oh, a little bit of contact there between, and this has brought a full course safety car out. Now I would deem maybe between the incident between Kenny and James, maybe deem it as a racing incident. I don't know, because I don't know how much of a gap there was between both those drivers, but we'll see. But I'd like to know where James got that 10-second time penalty from. So are the drivers, so fresh wet tyres for everyone. Stewie back out into P2. Percy is now your race leader. So this is gonna, I think, is going to make the race a lot more interesting. Oh, now that is very interesting. That is interesting. This might have made the first race of the season of RPR very, very interesting. So there's still not too much aquaplaning or spray coming up, but has Scotty and James made a really, really good decision here? I think maybe it could work. I think it could work, but we'll have to wait and see. So, only 2 drivers are attempting to try a set of intermediate tyres. This, I think, is a really good gamble. Maybe a good gamble for Scotty and James. But could it be a good sort of strategy for Scotty and James? I do hope though that penalty that James did get, that 10-second one, I think was a bit malicious of getting that penalty. Obviously I'm unsure what happened, but a safety car is in this lap. So Percy is the lead safety car. The 2 drivers that we must keep an eye on for when this race gets underway is Scotty and James on those intermediate tyres. So, Percy gets the race underway with Stewie on the heels of Percy, and Stewie gets the move done before going into turn 1. But is Kenny also going to get a move done there as well? No. So Stewie up to P1, Percy P2, Kenny P3, Gier on P4. At the moment, Scotty and James are looking pretty good on these intermediate tyres at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, inters will probably take a little bit of time getting warmed up. Gier makes a move then on Percy. Scotty outbrakes himself there, going into that little hairpin. So Stewie's already made a little bit of a gap up. Lattice and James also going at it as well. Keanu's also in there, getting into the mix. So Lattice makes a move on Scotty just before going into the right-hander. James is also there on the outside of Scotty, gets the move done on Scotty, runs a little bit wide there. Stewie sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:52.1. Percy in the pits, and is... So Percy's gone for a set of inters as well then. But at the moment, we are seeing Geron with another 3-second time penalty. Keanu picks himself up a 3-second time penalty as well. So at the moment, it looks like for the moment that the intermediate tyres could have been a bit of a gamble for James and Scotty, but we'll wait and see. So Kenny is on the rear then of Stewie. Stewie again gets a lovely exit out of that corner. Can Kenny try and make a move on Stewie going into turn 1? Or will Stewie... Or a little bit of a wobble there from Stewie. Kenny gets the fastest lap of the race. Stewie goes defensive. So Kenny's going to have to opt going round, try and go around the outside. But what defending there from Stewie going into turn 1. So Kenny and Stewie then currently battling out for P1. Can Geron try and close that gap up a little bit more? We've got a yellow flag and it's DXT James. So contact maybe for James. Not a little bit too unsure with that, but back up for the lead again. Geron is picking up that pace and getting closer to these top 2 of Kenny and Stewie. Lattice is also there as well. So maybe we could see a three-way battle here for P1. Again, Stewie a little bit sideways. Not too much though. I think James has had a little bit of a spin. Percy gets the move done. And James possibly more little contact there again. James, 5-second penalty there for James. Keanu into the pits again. And Kenny has managed to get P1 from Stewie. So now can Stewie try and keep up with the Alpine of Kenny? Does have Geron coming through as well. James is retired in the pits. I really feel for James in this race. Would actually love to know I think it was a little bit harsh giving him the 10-second time penalty, but was unsure of like I said, was a little bit malicious. So gap sort of closed up, and James has just popped into the chat. He says the 10-second time penalty was in final corner. I ran wide and I had to correct oversteer. James, that's oh, that's horrible. That is really horrible. That I can't believe. No, that's that's wrong. That is absolutely wrong. You shouldn't have deserved, and I'd say deserved any of those penalties, mate. If you're correcting yourself with oversteer and then kind of coming back on the track and then getting another further 5-second penalty, nah, I agree with what you said in Discord about the game. This game is broken. Like, it's completely broken. But like I said, but I do feel bad for you. I was actually waiting to see what you could do on those intermediate tyres as well, because I think you and Scotty might have made a right call. I mean, I know the track's still a bit wet, but it looks like you both had the pace on those intermediate tyres. But like I say, mate, I do feel bad for you. That shouldn't have happened with those two penalties. So we are. Oh, is Jay on there? Getting a little bit of a slide there. Keanu puts the fastest time on those intermediate tyres as well. So those intermediate tyres looks to have been working. No safety car or VSC needed to come out there. I think we'd have had a brilliant battle there between both the Alfa Romeo drivers and Ferrari driver, obviously, for P2 and P3. Kenny's opened up a 3-second gap between Stewie, Scotty up to P4. So those intermediate tyres, I would say, are coming in to effect. But bearing in mind, Keanu's got the fastest lap of the race, but not by a considerable amount. So probably just under a tenth quicker than Kenny's fastest lap of the race. But we do have both of the Red Bull drivers will be battling it out. So as it's the first race, there's going to be no team orders, so battle it out as much as you need to. Obviously don't hamper each other. Another penalty for Jairon then, so let's have a quick look at the penalties, guys. So at the moment Jairon has 12, Scotty has a 3, and Kiana has a 3 as well. So we've got Lattice and Stewie battling out for P2, which is comfortably the closest battle going off at the moment. Both Red Bulls are going to be fighting it out as well with Jairon. But we've got this battle for, I wouldn't say the last podium spot, but it's a battle between P2 and P3. but Stewie has put up a great fight all through this race. So has everybody else. It's like I say, it's the first race of the season, but those penalties was harsh for James, the DXC James. Keanu picks up another 3-second time penalty there as well. So Percy's made the move then on Jérôme. Let's get back to the P2 and P3 battle then, between Stewie and Lattice. I think this battle will go on till the end. Jérôme's in the pits. Maybe to change tyres. Opts for a set of intermediate tyres till the end. There's 7 laps to go, so why not? Scotty's not doing too bad on those inters. 5-second penalty for Jérôme there for crossing the white line. But Stewie is absolutely defending his heart out here, not giving up that fight with Lattice. So, we've got at least 7 laps to go. We've got a battle going off at the back. P6 and P7. P5 and P6 with the both Red Bull drivers. But I'm sure either way. And we'll let those Red Bull drivers battle out. They could actually also catch up Scotty as well. They could also catch up with Scotty if they give each other a little bit of a toe. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that if the both Red Bull drivers do catch up with Scotty. But Kenny is 8 seconds in front of the race. Now, can Lattice again try and get a move done or an overtake done on Stewie? Stewie has driven an exceptional drive, defended really well. All drivers have done brilliant as well. Shame, obviously, like I say, shame about the penalties that kind of happened. And Lattice goes for a dive on the inside, gets the move done. So no contact there between Stewie and Lattice. On the wet tyres, but can Stewie get an overtake done again into turn 1? Still behind Lattice going up to turn 1. Stewie, does he? No, he opts not to. What a fantastic battle we've got going off here now. Keanu has caught up with Scotty. Scotty runs deep into turn 1, so that allows Keanu to come through and take P4 from Scotty. Jaron gets the fastest lap of the race on those intermediate tyres. So Stewie picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. So a first penalty then for Stewie. But still within half a second of Lattice. But what a great battle this has been. And I will say a great first start race of the season. Yes, there's been a few little misguided penalties given for some of the drivers. But it's the first race of the season. Lattice running a little bit wide there. Now, is Stewie going to try again? Oh, a little bit of a tank slapper there from Stewie. But opts not to try and make an overtake. I think the rain is coming down that little bit harder now. Jaron again with the fastest lap of the race. Scotty still gets the move done there. Percy, oh what a move by Percy there just before going through the chicane. Just managed to catch that move there from Percy on Scotty. So Percy goes up to P5. But we've still got this battle going on here for P2 and P3. What an exciting battle it has been. Stewie goes for a move. Lattice tries to defend. Absolutely no contact there between both drivers, but who gets the better of it? I think Lattice does get it there. Stewie trying to put the power down. Trying to get the car to max it out, to take control of the car, sorry. Gets it maxed out to where he wants it. So Stewie again tried to make a move at the hip, at the other right-hander just after the long straight. Can Stewie try and get another move done either down the long straight again, but we've also got, it might be a little bit close, but that gap between Stewie and Keanu isn't coming down too much. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. See if that gap does close. It might close just a bit if Stewie and Lattice do continue to battle the way they are. But Stewie isn't close enough. I think this battle will go on all the way to the finish line, but we'll have to wait and see. That gap though is closing down by a tenth or so, but not too much. So could we potentially see maybe one of the Red Bulls catching up? We don't know, but we'll keep an eye on this battle still going off between Stewie and Lattice. Lattice goes a little bit wide there, but manages to stay on track. Stewie is... oh, a little bit of a snap there from Stewie, but he controls it, manages to keep it. Lattice runs a little bit wide there. I think Lattice got a little bit of oversteer there. Manages to keep it. So Stewie now brings that gap down again. Absolute amazing aerial shot. Oh, it could have kept that one while they were going down. Now can Stewie get a good exit out of this hairpin to try and get a move done on Lattice? Is that a little bit closer? He's looking. No, didn't want to opt to make the move there. So pulls back into the slipstream. Scotty and Jayron are battling it out. So Jayron's actually caught up Scotty pretty quick on those inters. Jayron's caught Scotty up on those inters pretty quick. So Stewie again is absolutely sticking with Giron. Is Stewie going to attempt to make a move? Going into turn one, don't think he will. What a fantastic battle this has been. It's gone, the gap's pulled up now to 1.2 seconds. And the gap's up to 1.5 now. Keanu picks himself up another 3-second time penalty. Is that his first one? No, that's his third one. That was to 1.6. You can see the Red Bull in the distance. 6.5 seconds back. That Red Bull of Keanu. Kenny picks up his first 3-second time penalty. That won't really make a difference. As he's got a 13-second gap in front of Lattice. The gap's now 2 seconds between Lattice and Stewie. Not too sure if tyres have dropped off for Stewie. But what a fantastic race we've had. 2 safety cars, a VSC, and also some misleading penalties. Oh, Stewie's fighting the car there. going through those few corners up the hill. But let's jump off board with Kenny. Scotty picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. But we'll go off board with Kenny as he comes around the last few corners. Absolutely fantastic race by all the drivers. As I said, some misleading penalties that shouldn't have happened. But Kenny comes around the last corner to take the first race win of round 1 season 10 of RPR. Kenny in P1. Stewie managed to get to claw a little bit of time back on that gap, but Lattice goes P2, Stewie P3, Keanu P4, Percy up to P5, J-Ron down to P6. And then we have Scotty in P7. But what a great first race. Codemaster give Percy driver of the day, but personally my driver of the day has to go to Stewie. Stewie does get my driver of the day for this race. But as you can see, Kenny takes the first win of RPR Season 10. Lattice in P2, Stewie P3, Keanu P4, Percy P5, J-Ron P6, Scotty P7, and the 3 DNS we have is DXT James, Leicester and GGC. But what an absolute fantastic race to the start of the season. First race, wet conditions, but it was good to be back in the comms box again. I hope you guys and everyone that watched enjoyed me doing the comms for you. Obviously it was nice to be back in again. Thanks to Scotty for giving me the position to do comms for you. But on that note, guys, thanks for everyone that has joined, commented, watched over, and I'll see you again next week, and I believe it's Mexico next week. But until then, guys, thank you for everyone joining, and I will see you again next week. Good night, guys.